Hi everybody, Miss Abate here. So today's lesson we are going to learn about a skill called problem and solution. Okay, so this skill is going to help us with a lot of our reading because a lot of the nonfiction, or excuse me, a lot of the fiction texts, a lot of the not real stories, maybe fables that we read are going to always have a problem at the beginning and a solution as to how they are solved at the end. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and dive into a video explaining problem and solution, and then we're going to do a quick reading afterwards and do an example to see if you can find the problem and solution within the story. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and we'll go ahead and get started watching the video that's going to go ahead and explain problem and solution for us. All right, boys and girls. So this is a little bit longer of a video. It's 7 minutes. I'll stop it a little bit before the 7 minutes, but let's make sure we've got our listening ears on and our watching eyes and a nice, calm, and still body to get as much out of this video as we can. All right, here we go.
Hi friends, today's lesson is all about problem and solution. For today's lesson, we're gonna, oh no, I spilled my milk all over the place. Hey buddy, can you go get me something to clean this up? Thank you. A comb? Buddy, I can't clean up this milk with a comb. That's not gonna work at all. What are you thinking, you silly goose? Friends, can you help my buddy think of something that would help me actually clean up this milk, not make a bigger mess? Yes, thank you. A paper towel. Perfect. Thank you, buddy. Yes, a paper towel works much better at cleaning up this mess. Okay, as I was saying, our learning goal for today says, I can identify the problem and solution in a text. Oh, hey, I just had a problem. My problem was that I spilled milk all over the place. And my solution is how I fixed the problem. How do we fix the problem of my spilled milk? Yeah, we got some paper towels and cleaned it up. So the problem is some kind of obstacle or, something that went wrong that we need to fix. And the solution is how we fix it. Before we dive into a text to find the problem and solution, let's just practice identifying some problems and talking about the solutions. All right, so here we go. I was having a rough day because I spilled my milk. And then I went out to let the dogs out. And I opened the door and there went my dog. Oh no, how am I going to get her to come back to me? Because she's running around the yard right now. I keep calling her name, but it's not working. Friends, what do you think would be a good solution to this problem? What could I use to lure her back in, to try to get her back in the house? Oh, yes. Oh, she loves dog treats. Here, doggy, 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 doggy. Oh, yes, that worked. All right, good. So our problem was that the dog ran away. And our solution was that we got a treat to get her to come back in. And I don't know about your dog, but if I have bacon, it always works as a good treat to get her to come back. Excellent. You did fantastic. All right. So here's another problem that might come up. Oh, sometimes you work really hard or maybe you don't work that hard and you get back a grade and it's just not a good one. Oh man, and you're like, oh, I knew I could do better. That's a really big problem because we want to do our best work when we're at school. So if you took a test or you turned in an assignment and it didn't go well, what would be a good solution for the next time you take a test or you turn in your assignment? Do you have any ideas? Oh, yeah. You could just study more and learn more about what you're going to take in your test. That way you're prepared for when you have to answer questions and you'll know the answers because you'll have done all of your good work. Oh, I like that solution. Good job. Thank you. All right. So what if this happens? And this would be the absolute worst thing ever. But this problem is so sad. What if you get a delicious ice cream cone and you're about to take a lick and then, oh no, it drops right on the ground and you can't even eat it. Friend, what solution could you come up with? Oh yeah, okay, good. Yeah, your parents offered to buy you a new one. Thanks, Mom and Dad. Delicious, thank you. But this is a good example of sometimes there's a problem and there can be more than one solution. So our problem was that we dropped the ice cream cone on the ground. And one solution would be that we just buy a new comb. But a different solution would be that we get an ice cream that goes into a dish or like a cup. So we don't have to hold it so carefully in our hands. We can set it on the table. And that way it would be less likely to fall on the ground. Do you agree? Yeah. So sometimes, just like in this case, but then also in a story we might read, the character has some different ways to solve a problem. And it might not be what we originally thought. It might be something totally different because they're problem solving and being creative. All right, so let's work together to try to come up with some ideas for my friend Harold. Harold is having a rough time. His parents just told him today that they're going to be moving and he's going to have to start a new school. Why is that a problem for him, do you think? Oh, yes, exactly. He doesn't know anyone at his new school, and he's kind of sad to leave all of his old friends and his teacher who's totally awesome. Oh, man. Let's think, what are some solutions that will help Harold not be so sad? What do you think, Ben? I like that one. Yeah, he could talk to his parents. Sometimes if you're upset, just talking to your parents and coming up with some good ideas to make you feel better actually works, and you don't feel so sad anymore. What's another solution? Oh, cheer him up. Oh, I like that idea. Yeah, maybe he could visit his new school so it's not all brand new on the very first day. That sounds like a really good idea. And maybe he could see some cool things that they do in his new school, and he could get excited about this new change. Another solution could be that he could make a plan. When you do something new and there's so many things that are unexpected or things you don't know that are going to happen, sometimes you can make a list of things you could do to get ready. Like if he's starting a new school, maybe he'll need new school supplies, and maybe he can make a plan with his parents to visit his old school or make play dates with his old friends at his old school. Like he can make a plan for doing some fun things to keep him busy so he's not so sad during this transition. Do you have another solution? Yeah, do something fun. Sometimes when you're just feeling kind of down in the dumps, you just need to get out and do something you enjoy. And then when you feel better, then you can start thinking about all of the other things we talked about, like talking to your parents, visiting your school, and making a plan. But sometimes when you're sad, you just need to kind of find something fun to do so you feel better, and then you can work on a good solution. And we came up with a whole bunch of good ideas to help our friend Harold feel better about moving to a new school. And you know what? I feel like when you read a text, you're going to be able to identify the problem and the solution, which is great because that's our learning goal for today. Now,
all right. So watching that video, friends, we just learned a lot of ways to identify, meaning hearing and finding a problem and coming up with ways to solve it, okay? So now we're going to put that into practice and we're going to read this text. And I want us to be thinking about what is the problem in this story and how does the story get resolved? Or excuse me, how does the problem get solved? Okay, so in that video that we just watched, we were coming up with solutions, right? Okay, but now we have to read to find what the characters in the story did to solve the problem. Okay, all right, so let's go ahead and let's listen as I read this story. And I want you to be thinking about what's the problem and how did the problem get solved, okay? Sarah and Jake went out to ride their bikes. They rode all the way to the end of their block. When they got there, they saw a cat that was lost. "Oh no," Jake said, "he's lost." Sarah got off her bike and sat on the ground hoping the lost cat would come near her. He did. Sarah softly pet the lost cat until he started to purr. "Let's take him home," Sarah said. Jake walked both bikes home while Sarah held the cat. When they got home, their mom called the animal shelter. Someone had just called and said they lost their cat. Sarah, Jake, and Mom drove to the shelter with the cat. The owner was there waiting. Jake and Sarah were so happy that the lost cat was able to go back home. The end. Okay, so what was the problem in this story? Yes, Jake and Sarah found a lost cat. It says right here, when they got there, they saw a cat was lost. Very good. So what did the text say about how that problem was solved? Let's think about it. Let's look back in the text and let's think about how the cat being lost, what was the end resolution? Hmm. Yes, they took the cat home. They decided to call the animal shelter because that's always a really good thing to do when you find a lost animal. Is you should always call an animal shelter to see if anybody's missing that pet. And they brought the cat to the shelter because there was somebody looking for that lost cat. So the solution was they called the shelter and the owner was able to get their lost cat back. All right, boys and girls, you did a wonderful job with today's lesson. So I know that you guys are going to do just wonderful being able to read text from now on and finding a problem and finding a solution within that text. Okay, so I'll see you guys next time and great work today.